Welcome back everybody to the hunt, and today we shall be hunting the Silver Rathalos itself. Just like everybody that has fought Silver Rathalos and Gold Rathian respectively, we are all in agreement that they absolutely blow. They are not good, they suck so damn bad. There's not a whole lot of people to like to fight the Silver Rathalos for a lot of scenarios, and as you saw just previously, which was yesterday in the Gold Rathian episode, we shall go over today the Silver Rathalos, what changed about his moveset, and why it sucks fighting both the Silver Rathalos and the Gold Rathian respectively. So, let's quickly go over the new aspects of the Silver Rathalos that you wouldn't see in the Azure and in the regular version of the Rathalos, even in Master Rank. The main move that you will see that's different about the Silver Rathalos is, just like User Rathalos, since he's spent a lot of time in the air, his main new moves is the Slam Dam attack, which once the Silver Rathalos is above you, it will literally smash its claws of its legs into the ground and bounce off of these to stay in the air, and or once it's on top of you, smash down its claws right where you stand and go into a grounded position. The other new main move that you will see from the Silver Rathalos is the Hellfire Blast, which basically is just a big ass fire blast, and that's about it. So when it comes to moveset, the Silver Rathalos doesn't have a whole lot that's distinguishing itself that you will see from, say, fighting in the Rathalos. So why does it suck so much? Why do I not like Silver Rathalos, and why don't I like the Gold Rathian? Well, let's pull up the math right now. So if you look at the hit zone value, that is an average of 33. Holy shit. That is second place to the lowest hit zone value average in the entirety of Monster Hunter World Iceborne, including DLC characters. You want to know who's first? F***ing Gold Rathian! I f***ing hate these monsters so much. Their math absolutely sucks. So let's go over the Silver Rathalos in particular, since it is the monsters of today's episode. Average of 33 with the head at 20, the head once broken at 55, the neck at 20, the neck broken at 30, the stomach at 22, back at 22, wings at 50, legs at 38, the tails at 18, and at the tail tip at 55. So, you're a cutting damage user, meaning you're a longsword user, you're a switch axe user, you're a dual blades user, you're an SNS user, whatever, even though the SNS has blunt damage, whatever. The head is usually the main weak spot. The Silver Rathalos breakability for the head weak point threshold is higher than that of the Azure and the normal Rathalos. In order for you to have even a shot at dealing the most amount of damage, you gotta break the head first. That sucks. 2. The neck is a part that you will inevitably hit while trying to deal your biggest damage number while on a down Rathalos. It will happen inevitably, and that's a 35 hit zone value difference if you broken the head, which you will have not, and you will spend your first half of the fight doing. Once the neck is broken, it's at 30, which is not that much better. It's not even enough to activate weakness exploit. The stomach and the back. The back, okay, fine, you don't go to that too much, but the stomach is usually a decent point of contact. The wings at 50. You will never hit the wing as a cutting damage user. You will never hit that. Never. Who goes for the wings on the Rathalos unless it's already tripped? Which might as well go for that since the head's so f***ing weak. The legs at 38, which is the only decent weak point, but even then if you look at most other monsters in the Iceborne roster, the forelegs do usually, or the legs just do a better job at for you to be able to deal damage. It's the only one that's decent about to doing that, but staying near the legs means that you have a chance of being poisoned. So it's no good. And since he has a new slam down move, meaning that the legs are the most dangerous they've ever been, and you don't have access to it too much because the Silver Rathalos spends too much time in the air. The tail 18, which is unbelievably low, and a talent tip at 55, which is generally a pretty good way to go about it. If only the talent tip wasn't such a small hitbox! I don't like Silver Rathalos. It sucks. The Mathlon sucks. The only reason why you shouldn't aim for the wings or the tail tip, even though they're the juiciest hit zones in the game, is because you want to break the head before this thing goes into what is lovingly referred to as Hellfire Mode. Hellfire Mode is a mode where the new Fire Blast attack of the Silver Rathalos get amplified a lot, just like the Singing Basil Geese, and the fact that its scales can expand, thus having a much wider range of lingering hitboxes, much larger radius of attack, explosions. Hellfire Mode is like a Rajang going Super Saiyan after it went Super Saiyan. So like, you know how a monster when it's in range gets more powerful? Like, it has less recovery time in between animation, it can chain usually attacks a lot faster. You can do 10% more damage, however, you're put in a much more risky position just because you can chain attacks that much more, and it takes a longer amount of time for him to go into a recovery animation. Well, maybe not recovery, but just getting slightly exhausted. This thing not only gets more AoE out of its in range, it gains a second in range, which is Hellfire Mode, which gives him new, more AoE moves, blast a load of stuff just like he did right there, and most of the time when it's a Hellfire, it's never on the ground. So trying to reach it as a melee user is practically pointless. You have to go for bow, and you have to go for light bow gun, heavy bow gun. But in Naked Monster Hunter Challenge, going for any of those weapons is a death sentence. Especially the bow guns. The bow is more doable, but the damage will be so low, it's not worth it. And even if you look at the impact damage, it's not that much better. Because the fact that the head is so strong and you need to break it first, meaning that you won't have the ability to stun that monster for a very long amount of time. It has all of the infuriating aspects of the Rathalos for spending too much time in the air, as well as having the second hit zone values in the entire game. I don't like fighting him, and so should you. This thing. We'll see you all for another hunt.